What's up with this internet shit? Scrapple TV.
The morning of the second day brought ideal conditions. Clear sky and an outgoing tide on a glassy river. The Delaware rail bridge was once a swing span, but in the 1950s, large towers and counterweights were installed, enabling part of the bridge to rise vertically, thus accommodating newer, larger ships. The Richmond Electrical Station, despite its ruined state, has retained its grandeur. With its powerful pilot tower, graceful buttressed conveyor, and stately main building, it remains a temple to industry. It was fueled by anthracite coal, which was brought in from eastern Pennsylvania. This dense form of coal runs hotter, more efficiently, emitting a blue flame. Wildlife manages to thrive among these ruins. I saw ospreys making a nest in the pilot tower, herons on the wharf, and large turtles sunning themselves on a floating log. In 1905, a rather grisly series of events played out in a wharf behind Petty's Island. The General Slocum was a popular passenger steamboat running out of Manhattan up the East River. During a weekend pleasure cruise in June of 1904, the General Slocum caught fire and burned down to the waterline, leaving nothing but a charred hull. The hull was towed to a Camden wharf behind Petty's Island, where locals soon began to sneak aboard the wreck to search for valuables like jewelry. They not only found jewelry, but also the burned remains of the ill-fated passengers. One account by a local newspaper describes little boys running down the streets with sacks full of human bones. Port Richmond was once among the largest rail terminals in the eastern United States. A seemingly endless supply of grain, coal, iron, and oil surged down the train tracks and onto ships bound for ports all over the world. Port Richmond began its decline during the Great Depression. Today, the concrete piers of Port Richmond are home to an urban forest where deer and other wildlife now live. After having made 3 successful crossings of the Delaware, I'm glad to reach my friends at Penn Treaty Park. The river we saw today was more like a ruined industrial garden than a forest, being equal parts built and grown. It was comforting and perhaps a bit sobering to see just how swiftly trees and wildlife can engulf man-made places. Tomorrow is my final day on these rivers, and it will take us through areas that have seen the most intense human disruption.